And then we are recording.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Following the views, I received a email from Mo, a person who had come to our neighborhood association meeting before, asking for a letter of support to research the relocation of the Albina and Brooklyn rail yards. So I had sent those letters out. Hopefully you got a chance to read those. Discuss the general meetings, go through the board reports, and then adjourn at 8 o'clock. Any changes or comments on the agenda?
So, yeah, I just have the motion to pay off the outstanding balance on the Overlook movie in the park from 2019 with our own money.
Okay, do you want that in the board report or added as an agenda item?
Agenda item, because it'll be a motion.
Oops. Yeah,
Doctor, did you say oops?
Yeah, you're gonna see all my files here. Let's see.
What's?
I think it's this one. Okay. Then let's add in a row. So all right.
Thank you.
I should put your last name. You got 4 minutes.
Yeah, no problem.
30, you got 5 minutes. All right, is there a motion to approve the agenda? Start being more official this time. I don't know if I can't spell here.
I so move.
Second.
Okay, anybody in opposition? Okay, agenda approved. Marcy, can you hear us yet? I wonder if she can call in. Okay, we'll skip that. So then the first thing we need to do is select the executives. So chair, I believe, is first. Or is it first? Does it have to be first?
Of course.
All right, chair. Who wants to be chair?
She can hear but not speak, is Marcy.
Okay.
I nominate Alice to be chair another year.
What'd you say?
I nominate Alice to be chair for another year. You've done a great job.
I second.
That.
Okay, here's my comment to this. I've not been doing a great job at responding to emails, like really bad, because I don't have a lot of time. So I'm okay being chair, as long as the vice chair, whoever that person is, helps me with emails, etc. And maybe we can't make that decision because we don't know who the vice chair is, but okay, and it doesn't have to be the vice chair. It could be anybody who will help read emails because I just can't get to them and I feel bad not being able to respond to people's emails in a timely manner, as some of you may have noticed. I don't respond to your emails right away. So that's my caveat.
Sorry, Sarah Iannaroni's on the other line. I'm serious. I'm not taking it.
What? It's making these little marks over here.
I did.
Oh, okay, just check.
What the heck is going on?
Does Sarah want to be vice chair?
Yeah.
There you go. Ask her in a month.
George, stop making those red marks.
I don't know how I'm doing that. I'm trying to get the screen to move around a little bit, and it's got this little thing down here with some kind of pen and the color red. I
You're
have no
doing a
idea.
Saturday Night Live skit. Stop it, George.
If I leave my hands off it, will somebody make it go away?
No. Okay,
How did I end up with it? I have no idea.
so let's move on from here. So that's my caveat. If somebody can help, if the vice chair, whoever that person may be, will help with some of the work, I'm okay being the chair. So let's decide on the vice chair first. How's that?
Okay.
Can we do that?
Yeah. I don't think it is. It doesn't
Doesn't
say that we
matter.
have to decide in particular order.
The order, right?
No, we can do any order.
Okay. Does anybody want to be vice chair this year?
So I will continue as vice chair, and I will help you with email. But I have a caveat as well.
Yes. Okay.
Since word's getting, you should all know, Peggy and I are moving out of Portland in December. We will continue to own the house and put it on the market in January. So in all likelihood, it will sell. I will have to resign the board at that point. So chair probably for February, and then we'll have to have a replacement.
Okay.
We're losing your voice. a little
Yeah, you're cutting in and out.
You're
Whole
very
thing was garbled.
muffled.
bit. Hard to hear. And we caught you're putting the house on the market in January, and then whenever it sells, then you will have to resign from the board.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the house should probably sell quickly, hopefully.
No. You're still sounding like a tunnel. Sorry.
Very weird. Yeah.
Take it from the top.
And I think Marcy's on now with the voice.
Oh, good. Okay.
All right. Can you hear me now?
It's better.
No.
So
It's not great, but it's better.
from the top.
Hang on.
Kiss your computer.
Oh, for some reason it maximized the window.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that's better.
Really
Yeah.
good.
That's great.
And
Oh,
I
I know
thought,
it was wrong. Okay. Oh, phew. Okay. So the house will go on the market in January. Hopefully it will sell quickly. Once the house sells, I will no longer be eligible to serve on the board. So I could be vice chair, until February, and then somebody will have to take over.
Where are you
you're
going?
moving. Yeah, moving where?
Ohio,
Cleveland?
Akron, but yeah, Cleveland, Akron area.
Okay.
Manchester?
What?
Or Green? We'll talk later.
So in knowing that,
Well-
is the board okay with Chris being vice chair?
Yes.
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 All right.
Thank you.
Chris, thank you for your support.
You're welcome. Somebody should think about volunteering to take over after, and I can ease you into it.
Yeah. Is there someone on the board who is interested in taking over that role sometime in February?
Call it the 12th man or woman.
September, October, November, December, January. So like 6 months from now, approximately. Okay, no, we're not in September anymore. Where are we in? October. See, you sure you let me
October.
re-chair? October, November, December. In 5 months.
I'll say that this is my first time being on a neighborhood association, so I don't know what these roles entail as far as responsibilities. So I have a hard time nominating myself.
So yeah, that's a good question. So the vice chair, well, except for Chris, except for helping me, the vice chair takes on, and if you haven't read the bylaws, it would be very good to read the bylaws, but basically the vice chair would take over if, like, lead a meeting if the chair can't lead a meeting, basically serve as the chair if the chair is unable to serve.
Right.
Like adding on reading emails is extra credit.
So Cassie, since you and I have already talked kind of about you're taking over digital,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, if you're still willing to do that, I think that would put you in a good position to be the vice chair to help Alex with monitoring emails, because a lot of it, sending out the weekly emails, just keeping track of stuff that comes in.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be great. And then, if you're interested in working with Chris to learn that role, that would be perfect.
Yep, that's good.
Cool. Okay, I'll touch base with you and we'll
Okay.
talk about stuff.
Thank you.
Great, thanks both.
So,
All right, so nomination for chair. I guess that's me. Is anybody opposed? Okay. Treasurer. Brad, are you still interested in being treasurer? Because you did a fabulous job.
I can do it.
Great. Anybody opposed to Brad being treasurer? Anybody else interested?
I would like to transition off after this year, but we can deal with that later. A year from now is a long time.
Yeah, for sure. And then last but not least, secretary. So Marcy has been serving as secretary. This role has been basically taking the minutes, sending approved minutes to NPNS, making sure that the minutes are approved by the board, making sure Chris and Cassie now get the minutes so that they can post them. And we now have video recordings. So the amount of notes that it used to be we took a lot of notes so that people could understand what happened in the last meeting if they missed it. But now that we're recording it, people can go and listen if they so choose. And so it's just kind of taking bullets and recording votes. So in saying that, Marcy, are you still interested, or is anybody else interested in performing that role?
I don't mind continuing on unless somebody else wants it. Do you realize the last couple months I was late with those? So if people were okay with that, then I don't mind continuing.
Yeah, I think that's fine, especially since we're posting it. So I think that would be great. Is anybody opposed to Marcy continuing as secretary? Okay, great. All right, so I want to get on to committee chairs, but first, I want to talk about terms. So we have 12 positions, we have 11 people. 5 of the people need to do a 1-year term, 6 of the people will do a 2-year term. I've heard from, Chris, for instance, he's going to do a 1-year term or 6 months. Cynthia has said she wants to do a 1-year. I have voted for a 1-year. Did I miss someone? I thought there was one other person who said they wanted to do 1 year, but I can't remember. So we need 2 other people who want to do, so first of all, Cynthia, are you still wanting to do 1 year?
Yes.
Okay. And then 2 other people, are there 2 other people on here who are interested in doing only 1 year? And that's 1 year, and then we'll have a vote, or we'll have another election, so you can go for 2 years. The reason we're doing this is because we changed the bylaws, so now our terms are 2 years, but half the people have to be 1 year in order to make that transition, because we're going to split the years that people are elected.
So at this point, who do you have for 2 years?
I have everybody else.
So which is how many people?
8.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we need 2 volunteers,
We just need 2
or
more.
I'm going to get out my D8 and start rolling to see who's off.
And again, it doesn't mean you're not on for 2 years. It just means you'll have to go up for election again in a year.
You could put Lee and I, or one of us. That would be fine.
Okay.
But if someone else wants it, that's fine too.
You're talking about the 1 year?
Yeah.
I can do a year and go election. So who we have now? We have Cassandra, Cynthia, and Chris.
Chris, Alex, Cynthia, Marcy, and then you want me to do Lee or Cassie? I don't know. I feel funny splitting you guys up, but if you want to be split up.
That way they're always, you know,
Always somebody else.
raising money, things like that, you know,
All
for their
right.
elections. Yeah.
Cassie, you or Lee, who would you like to do 1 and 2?
You can put Lee down for 1.
Okay, perfect. Okay, we have Chris, Alex, Cynthia, Marcy, Lee for 1 year, and then everybody else for 2.
And the vacant seat technically is on a 1-year cycle.
What'd you say?
The vacant seat is on the 1-year cycle as well.
And the vacancy. Yep, exactly. So next September, there will be 6 positions open on the Overlook Neighborhood Association Board.
So these are all tracked on the board roster, just FYI.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, let's talk about, sorry, does somebody have something?
I second that.
All right, let's talk about the committee chair. So in the past, we have had a list of committees and we have assigned the committee chairs. So my first question to the board is, which committees do we think that we need to have this year? Because I know in the past we have just kind of listed all of the committees and assigned someone. And I guess my question this year is, do we need all of the committees? And if we do, who wants to participate? Okay, so let's start going through the committees. So we had homeless liaison, and why don't I have these somewhere that I can share? I probably do somewhere. Oh. We had safety. Somebody sending me something?
Alex, I have them all right here on the board roster if you want me to just read them off.
Do you have them? Great.
All right, so the last year, I was digital, views editor, and Adidas liaison.
Okay.
Brad was transportation. Marcy was the grievance committee. Cynthia was parks. George was public safety. John was schools liaison, John Parks. Alex was public safety, vice chair of that. And that's Alexander Penny, sorry.
Yep.
Then Peter Parks was doing the homeless outreach. Toby Morris was engagement. And that's it. We had some vice chairs.
Land use.
Oh, right, Julia was land use.
Okay, so I guess my question would be engagement. Do we, given that it's hard right at this moment to like really engage, do we feel like that is anybody passionate about that committee?
I feel like that could be coupled with digital.
Okay.
Especially right now, because the only way to engage is digitally. So since I'm taking over digital, that could be part of it, but it doesn't necessarily need to be called that.
Okay, what do other board members think?
I like it.
I think that's a good point, Cassie. The folks who've taken on engagement, I mean, they just kind of ran around in circles. Nothing really came of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're doing digital. I mean, we can see the results. So I would recommend that you kind of absorb that committee, just in what you do for digital.
So we could streamline it even more if we want and just say digital and engagement and the views that it are just all falls under the communications committee.
Perfect. Perfect.
Okay. So communications chair.
So I'll put on the roster myself and Cassie as co-chairs on that, and then we can, adjust it later.
Okay. Digital engagement, and what was the other one?
Views.
And views. That's right. Okay, great. Anybody opposed to Chris and Cassie being co-chairs of the communication committee? Okay. Schools. I know
I'll do
nothing's
it
going
again.
on. Do you want to still do schools, or should we drop that committee since nothing's really happening there? Up to you. Up to the board.
I think schools is going to get going here. I mean, just discussions today, as far as it looks like we might start moving forward. Now, will that be Multnomah County anytime soon? Who knows? But it would be an easy one.
Yeah. Okay,
Yes.
schools. Anybody interested? John, you still interested in
Yes.
doing schools?
I'll still do it.
I will.
Okay. Anybody opposed to John managing the schools? What would it be? Schools liaison committee, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Let's talk about the grievance committee here. And since last time we didn't do this initially. So this was Marcy, and I think Lee is on was on as a community member. Obviously he's now on the board. So in terms of the grievance committee, do one of you guys want to chair that? Marcy, you or Lee?
Is it one board member and a total of 3 people?
One board, yes, exactly.
Continuing on, unless Lee wanted it, I'm happy to be on it in either form.
Okay. All right, since Lee is not on, we will have Marcy be the grievance committee chair. And then we need to think of, Lee can't do it, but we need to think of, maybe we ask, what was her name? The one who was,
Oh, Michelle.
oh yeah, Michelle, ask Michelle again, and then find another person. So maybe at our next meeting, we can talk to those, we can nominate those folks potentially.
You could throw it out in the weekend e-blast beforehand and say, here's what they do.
Right, exactly. Okay, perfect. Okay, transportation. Brad, you still willing to do that?
I am, and it should be a boring year after all this year.
Never know.
Never know.
Okay, Park, Cynthia. You're amazing at it. Hopefully you will still do it.
Absolutely.
Great. All right, anybody opposed to Brad being transportation and Cynthia chairing parks? Great. All right, let's talk about land use.
We need somebody.
We need somebody. The question is anybody here interested in doing land use? And I sent a couple of land use items. Is anybody here interested in doing land use, or should we put it out to the committee? The committee, I mean, the person who does land use does not necessarily have to be on the board, right? It's preferable, but they don't have to be. They will attend every meeting, so we might want to have them join the board. So my first question is anybody here interested in doing land use and managing that piece? Okay. I'll take that as a no. Okay, so let's maybe Chris in the update, we can ask for somebody from land use. I asked a couple of people. I asked Mike, who was the land use chair before, and then I asked, can't remember her name, and both of them said no. So if anybody knows anybody who would be good at that job, let me know. And I can send them an email.
Okay, I'll put it in the update if that doesn't pan out.
Okay, perfect.
There's
Great.
someone that I can think of, but I'm not positive. I think I met them at our neighborhood association meeting last year. So I assume that they're in the neighborhood. Now, do they have to own a house or just live here?
No, they can be a renter or they can own a business.
I can reach out to them, but I have no idea if they have the time or anything to do it.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
Also, Lee woke up and he did say that he would be willing to chair the grievance committee if Marcy wants to step down from that. But
well, we have other committees too.
yep.
So it depends on how active he wants to be. Hopefully the grievance committee won't have to meet. Knock on wood. All right, so we'll put a blurb out for the land use chair. See if we get it. Unless Lee wants to do that.
Dates and pass them on, or how much more does the land use chair?
You kind of broke up. Can you repeat?
How much more does the land chair do other than developments and stuff?
Mostly tracking what's going on with city council in terms of land use. Yeah, checking, making sure, bringing developments to the board. Chris, maybe you have a better description of the land use.
Yeah, it's mostly keeping track of what's going on. You'll get emails and paper notices will be sent to us. When projects come in, we invite the developer to come in and present at a general meeting. Hopefully a lot will do that under the new rules. Keep track of any zoning changes that are going on, or development rules changes. And then if there's ever a controversial project that we're appealing, you're probably the one that's going to go and testify down at the city and say, hey, this project sucks.
And in the next year, hard to tell how many projects we're going to have with lots of high density housing being avoided at the moment. So
yeah, I don't anticipate a lot in the next year. So it's probably just going to be mostly keeping track and inviting people to come in and present.
Got it.
Okay. Homeless and safety, those are the last two, unless I'm missing one. And we had events, but we don't have any events, so I'm not gonna do that one. Homeless outreach.
I thought it was homeless liaison.
Homeless outreach liaison.
That's right.
Anybody?
Yeah, this is Casey. I was co-chair on that last year. I think we agreed to, I guess, no longer have that as a committee, or at least name it something else. But frankly, I'm still interested in being part of it. In fact, I can chair it. But I think we need a further conversation as far as what it is. What is it that we want to accomplish here with outreach, or just the homeless or camping situation. So I'm more than happy to lead that charge. Just want to make sure that we have it clearly defined and what we're trying to accomplish with having such a committee. I think it's still important in some capacity, but not so much as it was characterized before as a liaison or an outreach piece, because I think that was not necessarily what we netted out from last time. So I'm more than happy to be a part of the committee, if not lead it. But I think further conversation as far as what it is we need to, how do we define it, and what is it we're trying to accomplish with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's good. And we kind of got into trouble last time. So I think the issue, it's been like the homeless outreach liaison. So working with Hazelnut Grove and kind of keeping the board apprised of what's going on with the homeless situation, et cetera. I think it became a support organization last year, and maybe that was not the direction that we wanted to go. So I think,
because I think that we continue to be one of the top neighborhood associations that are being watched as far as what we're doing, how we're reacting, how we're participating. And I think it makes sense to have a committee to focus on that, how we are working with other potential other neighborhood associations and apprised on what's being done from a political standpoint. You know, the city council, that might change and how it affects their neighborhood, that type of connection. You know, further definition. And I'm more than happy to take that on. I just didn't necessarily want to come and, you know, spearhead it and say, this is how I think it should be done, but I'm more than happy to be a part of it so we can further define it and then be some of a liaison as far as latest that's happening amongst our city and then within our neighboring neighborhoods.
yeah, I think to me that makes sense. And with all the committees, which was also kind of an issue last year with the homeless committee, you know, the decisions are made by the board.
That's right.
So we have to bring all the committee, any decision that any major decision, not like, oh, we're gonna go do this, something small, but any major decision needs to be brought before the board. So I feel comfortable having the homeless outreach committee because I think it's extremely important. You know, when I surveyed the community, gosh, like 6 months ago, maybe a little bit longer, homelessness and safety were the two biggest issues.
Yep.
And so, you know, I think having homeless outreach, and I know that there's a lot being done with the neighborhood associations too in the chairs. Having that, I think, is important. So I think that makes sense in having you as the chair. But any comments from the board?
That's great, Casey. Thank you.
Sure.
Great.
What I'm thinking for next our next meeting, as I get more thought to it and kind of further define the parameters of what we're trying to accomplish here, I can bring to the board as I see, you know, what this might be. And the latest, probably by November, we'll have a little more clarity on what's happening from the city side. So I'll be prepared to offer more insights of what the committee is. And again, if anyone else wants to be a part of this fund, by all means, we can work on it together. But I'm more than happy to take it on.
Great, thank you. Anybody opposed? Okay, perfect. And Casey, I will send you the information for the North Portland chairs meetings that we had talked about for that. And so I'll get you up to speed.
Excellent, thank you.
I can also send you the information from the city when I was talking with them about the Hazelnut Grove just recently and all the moves that they've made, updates to the people that I was talking to about it. And I'll look those up and send those to you because they're good contacts.
Oh, I think you're breaking up, but there's information about Hazelnut Grove that's going to be sent.
I have contacts. I have one person that's living down there that's helping with the move, and then there's another woman named April that's in the move. That they're hiring the people that are building for every Hazelnut Grove, and she was my contact to the city. Here in Overlook.
Okay, I think I caught every other word, but I'll take a look at what you can provide, and then we can see about making that contact.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Great, thanks. Okay, last but not least, we have safety. And like I said, the homelessness and safety were the two issues that came up the most. So I want to make sure that we have a solid response to people. And George, you're doing a great job. I want to make sure, but I guess I'm interested in wondering if anybody else is also interested in co-chairing with you because I see the homelessness and the safety tied together. And I want to be able to bring those two together. And I know, you know, I want to make sure that we have that connection and that we're working very hard on homelessness and safety as kind of a group. So that's my comment. So
Okay.
I'm assuming, George, you want to?
I'd like to continue on. And later on, I would report that basically I haven't heard anything from the two basically co-chairs about where it's going. The public safety, as far as the city goes, they have unplugged from it altogether. And so that's where they're concerning. And they might have some bearing on that. I hope so, that it'll put it back on track. As it
Okay,
stands
George,
right
I just
now.
want to finish with the committee chairs. We'll do the board reports in a second.
Sure.
Okay.
And so as far as tying it in with the homeless situation, I think that got to be a little bit of the situation. What was it with Peter Parks? In one of the meetings that we had, and so it sounded like he didn't think that it should be related at all. So there's room for improvement all around. And the near future, hopefully within the next month or two, will determine whether it's going to fall on its face or get back onto a good information source and a good interrelationship. Which right now is non-existent, really. So.
Okay, great.
Right.
Is anybody interested in co-chairing with George?
It's Marcy. Do it. Am I still breaking up?
You're very hard to hear.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, it's really bad.
So, Marcy,
I will do it. I will co-chair with George.
Great. Appreciate the help.
And I do agree, this is Casey again, I do agree that make sure that we are in lockstep with each other because there is a direct correlation there. So I'll look to both of you when we have some reports and see how we can cross-pollinate.
Awesome.
Yes.
Great. So Lee is not on a committee. Is he interested in being on do one of these committees interest him? And would he like to?
I was going to say I'll give him the grievance chair, but if he's more than welcome to that too.
Yeah. Would he be okay doing the grievance committee, or is he interested in something else?
He would be okay doing the grievance committee, but are there other ones that are also missing?
I mean, we just went through all of them, but he could also participate on one that, you know, is already.
I'm sorry, we forgot one, sustainability.
Oh, sustainability. That's true. We didn't have that one last year, really.
Yeah, I think he would be fine doing the grievance. And the only other one I remember that has not been filled was the land use.
Right.
I don't think he would be good at that. I think there could be better people for that, but.
Okay.
So.
All right, if nobody objects. And the Adidas liaison.
Adidas liaison.
Yeah, maybe, we'll see. Okay, first let's do safety. So is anybody opposed to Marcy and George co-leading safety? Okay, great. Grievance, we had nominated Marcy. Is there any opposition to Lee taking over for Marcy for the grievance committee? Okay, perfect. All right, we have the Adidas liaison. Is that a committee? I mean, I feel like we had that committee.
Yeah. I think it was, yeah, we had it for a reason during the construction. Now, do we still need it as they move in? Perhaps through the end of the year, and that'd be about it.
I don't think that they'll be moving in before the end of the year.
Oh.
I mean, I could be wrong, but
I have a good relationship with Tom, and I'm happy to continue doing it until I go.
Yeah.
Unless you guys can just reassess then and see if you think you still need it. My recommendation is you have somebody assigned to it, just so that there's a point of communication between us and them.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be an active committee or anything. It's just somebody that knows Tom and can send him an email when something comes up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so maybe Lee can help with that. You can talk, he can meet Tom, etc. So that we'll have somebody when you leave.
Lee works for Nike, so I'm not sure that's. Oh, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. I'm sorry. No, he doesn't. He works for Intel. Never mind. Yeah, that's fine. I'll
Okay,
loop Lee in on that.
Okay, perfect. Anybody opposed to Chris and Lee being the Adidas liaison committee chairs? Or however you want to talk about it. Okay, perfect. Thanks, you guys. Any questions?
Could you just read down the whole list again so I make sure I got it right on my sheet?
Yep, we have homeless outreach, which is Casey. We have safety, which is George and Marcy. And we have Adidas, which is Lee and Chris. Transportation, Brad. Grievance, Lee. Parks, Cynthia. Schools, John. Communication chair, you, Chris, and Cassie.
Great, thank you.
And then land use, nobody. Okay. All right. Thanks, you guys. Okay, we are 5 minutes behind, 6 minutes. So views, content, I'm handing it over to you, Chris. Do you need to share anything?
No, and I'll be quick. So I checked in with Chelsea, and the deadline for people who have been assigned stories for the views is a week from Friday. So get me your stories by a week from Friday, preferably Thursday. The stories we have lined up is we're going to do the centerpiece will be the board profiles. If you didn't get me a profile before the election, get me one by Wednesday or Thursday so I can make sure it's formatted right. And if you want to make changes, let me know. Current board members who are reelected will just use your photo from last year. So that means Cassie and Lee, I need you guys to send me headshots.
Yep.
And if anyone else didn't like their photo last year, send me a headshot. That means get in front of a plain wall, a gray wall or something. We don't want a lot of busyness in the background. It's basically mid-chest to the top of your head. All right, then I'm trying to get a hold of Dennis and Seraphy at the joint office and the mayor's office, respectively, to get an update on the move to Hazelnut Grove's move to the new camp in St. John's. I'm writing that one up. I'm going to do something on fire protection measures for houses. It'll mostly just be a rehash of what was in the neighborhood update this weekend. There was going to be an update on affordable housing projects at Alberta and Interstate, as well as Killingsworth, Denver, Killingsworth Interstate, Southeast corner with lots of pictures. So ongoing development. I think, Brad, did you volunteer to do that one?
No, I was doing, I got a hold of Michelle and she's working on the net post-fire disaster work.
I thought we were gonna have it be the new land use chair, but we don't have one.
Okay, so we need a volunteer. Who can do that? I'm already doing 3 stories, so I'm not going to do it.
This is on the what? Affordable housing on the corner of Alberta and Interstate?
Yeah, as well as the new development coming in, the project that just finished at Killingsworth, Denver, and then the project that's going in at the old bank building at Killingsworth Interstate. So all this will require is, I'll give you the contact information. Somebody just needs to make 3 phone calls, find out what the status is of each project, when they're planning to break ground, that kind of stuff, and ask them each to send some pictures that we can run.
Just, I don't mind working on that if you can send me the information.
Okay, was that you, Cassie?
Yeah, that was me.
Okay, super. I will send you that. Then a message from the chair. That'll be Alex. Can somebody write just a paragraph about the holiday parties not happening?
I can do that too.
Awesome. All right, Brad's going to do something on nets or coordinate that. I'm working on getting something from Overlook House about their canceled holiday stuff.
You may get a bunch of stuff from Michelle on net. So she was talking about like 4 stories potentially. I have no idea what they look like. So in case that changes your mind on what else you need to put in, just a heads up, that's all.
Oh,
In case we go long.
okay, tell her to keep it reasonable.
Yeah, well, and she'll send it your way and you take what you want.
Okay. And then, we'll run like an ad for recruiting for committees. That's just going to be a corner box. Okay, so that's what we have. Is there any other stories that people want to do for this issue? It'll come out in November. No? Okay, great.
Oh,
Cassie,
that sounds like
Brad,
a lot.
and Alex, get me stuff by next Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Next Thursday?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thanks. And that was very fast. All right, so like I said, I got an email requesting that we write a letter of support to research relocating the Albina and Brooklyn rail yards. So I had sent several example letters. I think I sent 4 of them. And basically, it's not necessarily asking for them to move it. It's asking them to do research. All right. This one I thought was my favorite here because it was very short, which is great. So basically, it's just saying, writing to express support on behalf of blah, blah, blah for the research of relocating the Albina and Brooklyn rail yards. Pretty simple. Like I said, short. They're not putting in here what it's going to be used for. They're just asking for research. So question to you guys. And I think last time, Chris, he had asked Mo, what is his last name? Bo something or other.
Bradadine or something.
Badradine up on the CC.
He had asked us to support it financially and we had declined. He said we had written a letter of support, but I don't think we did. So my question to the board is, do we want to write a letter in support of researching the relocation of the Albina and Brooklyn rail yards?
So is this, what's not clear to me reading these letters and having seen the emails from Mo, is it sounds like he's going to use these letters of support to ask for funding for this research from the legislature or from the city or the county. And
All the above.
for all of the above. So I'm a little hesitant to get on board with supporting this if that's the way it's going to be used. It's just not clear to me where he's going with it. And also that the lack of specificity in what's going to go down there really concerns me. One of the other letters is from like an arts group, and they see it as a great place for us to put art studios. And I'm sure that there are housing advocates that see it as a great place to put affordable housing. And everybody can imagine what they want down there. And we could get further along in this process without actually establishing it. And then it's too late to, it's out of our hands. So until there's greater specificity and a clear intention of what these letters of support are being used for, I don't think I'm in favor of this. I'm open to changing my mind if somebody wants to give me an argument, but yeah, I would want to tread carefully here.
When I read through it, and I'm nowhere near an expert on any of that, it made some kind of a veiled reference to previous successes, but it didn't say where those were. But there was an indication that there was some kind of a website or location somewhere for additional information, which I didn't follow up on, or I wasn't able to follow up on in the amount of time that I had. But it did sound kind of nebulous. And I'm pretty sure, at least down here, the Union Pacific folks, I dare say they're not really going to be too interested at all in leaving anytime soon. They like their little fiefdom down there, along with all the other stuff they've got. So I'd be kind of leery of it myself too.
The reaction I think that Mo heard from them was, you pay us, get us land and pay us to move it, and we'll do it. Now that may not be
really
totally crazy thought. The only problem is I think you're gonna have to move it outside the urban growth boundary of the Portland area, and that's gonna create all sorts of hackles.
So I think I would support it because we're probably the neighborhood that's most affected by it, number one. And number two, even if it became affordable housing, I think that's preferable to having the rail yard down there with all the pollution, et cetera, that means. And this is just looking for research. So I understand that it might be an issue for, they might do something in the future, but this is just kind of looking for research. So for those reasons, I would support writing a letter. So just a different view.
Yeah, I agree with Alexandra. I see not much of a concern to research it. We are really, especially the lower, the southern part of Overlook, we are seriously impacted by the pollution that comes off of the engines and so on in the Albina yard. So I would be very happy to see that area redeveloped and the Albina yards moved. So I have no problem with a letter of support for research.
Thanks. What do others think?
I agree. It's short on specifics, but from a concept, I'm interested. Even though it would definitely change the character of the area and all those things, it would take a significant part of the pollution out of our neighborhood. And they don't like their slow route and path between the Albina yard and I-84 either.
I'm sure. I just don't like all those trains going through the neighborhood with all kinds of stuff.
Right, the hazardous chemicals, the one that ran into the, the bridge, the Going Street Bridge.
Yep, exactly. Okay, anybody else before I go to a vote, potentially? John, were you going to say something?
I'm concerned about the lack of specificity, but I do think it's a good idea.
Okay, great. All right. It sounds like we have two sides to this. So does anybody want to make a motion in support of writing a letter? And I would support, well, we'll bring it back to the board before we send it, but I think for me, it would be something along the lines of this letter, super simple. That just says we support doing research. There's pollution, et cetera. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, that I think throwing in the risk to the auto infrastructure or the pedestrian auto bike infrastructure due to derailments is another issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good point. So does anybody want to make a motion?
I'll move that we write a letter in support of the concept of relocating the Albina and Brooklyn rail yards, exploring that.
Great. Any second?
I'll second that.
Okay.
That was Marcy.
All right. Let's go through a vote. Hold on.
Is this when we use the voting thing?
No, I'm just gonna call people.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
fine.
Where are we going?
Okay, John,
Yes.
George,
No.
okay, if you guys keep moving around here on my little thing, okay. Cynthia,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Chris,
No.
you wanna move? Cassie. Cassie,
I was gonna say yes, and Lee is in the room now, and he says no, so we cancel each other out.
okay, yes, no?
Is that 2 no's or 1 no?
Unless he doesn't count because he wasn't here for the first part of the meeting.
No.
You count.
For both
Well,
Cassie and
one of
Lee.
each.
Yes. No. Got it.
Cassie, yes, Lee, no. Marcy,
Yes.
Alan,
Yes.
who did I miss? Anyone, anyone?
Cynthia?
Cassie, Casey,
Oh, Casey.
Casey, are you still on? You have left, actually.
You did.
I think you left. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yeses. 1, 2, 3 no's.
Did we get everybody?
Except for me, I vote yes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yeses. 3 no's. So the motion passes. Okay, we can write something up. I'll write something up. I'll send it out to the board for final approval. Okay, great. Now let's go back to, okay, Brad. Decision to pay movie in the park fees.
All right. So the 2019 movie in the park happened, and we had to pay $900 to make that happen to Portland Parks. That's the way it works. We had a balance of $438.55 at the start. Remove 900 from that, and right now we have a deficit for that little fund within our bigger account, the deficit of $461.45. So what I'd like to do is take money out of our general unrestricted fund to pay the $461.45 so that the movies in the park is square at zero. Cynthia's $1,500, I'm not counting it in that, the money that she was awarded and gave to that fund, she wanted it to be for the future films. So to honor that request, we'd need to pay off the balance of general funds. So my motion is to do that.
So what did we say last year? How did we come up with the funding last year? Or how did we talk about that? Not last year, the year that we actually had the movie.
19.
Was it coming out of the general fund? I can't remember.
We've taken money out of general fund for this before.
We have, okay, perfect.
I second Brad's motion to pay whatever the amount was,
$461.45.
$461.45 to cover movie expenses.
Okay, Brad makes a motion to pay. Chris seconds. Anybody oppose? Okay, motion passes.
Thank you.
All right, general meeting. The general meeting would be October 20th. Does anybody have anything for that meeting? So the bylaws, I'm gonna bring this up here. The bylaws state that we have to have 4 general meetings a year. We've had one, this one. We have to have one in September for the election. That's 2. So technically, we only need 2 general meetings. Of course, we'll have more. But the question to the board is, do we have anything to discuss at the next, for October 20th? Does anybody have anything to bring up or any topics? If not, should we cancel that meeting?
I want to look ahead here just a little bit, because sometimes November is kind of lines up odd as far as Thanksgiving and this meeting. But in this case, our 3rd Tuesday meeting would be on November 17th, and Thanksgiving wouldn't be until November 26th. So there actually is a full week and a half break in there.
Okay, and we usually do not have a meeting in December. So basically this would mean likely only having a November general meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And then starting again in January. I mean, I would propose that because I just don't think we have it. I don't think we need to have a meeting if we don't have anything to really discuss. I don't want to force it because I know people are busy.
I agree.
Unless something, unless something comes up in the next few days.
Right.
I would say that I agree with that. But I would also add that if we wanted to do some sort of like a social neighborhood Zoom where you could just meet your neighbors or something, because I know that you guys usually have like a September social that we didn't do. So we could use the opportunity to do some sort of engagement activity online. But if we don't want to get into that, I'm fine with canceling it if we don't have anything else to talk about.
I think we could talk about that for the December meeting. The issue is I have like family happy hours every once in a while. And if you get like even 9 people on,
right,
you can't really have a social conversation.
That's true.
You know, so it's more difficult. I mean, we could think of another way to do it. I'm not sure how, but.
Yeah, I'm not sure how either. Just a thought.
Yeah, let's think about that for the December meeting. So is anybody opposed to canceling the October general meeting?
No.
Okay.
No.
Great. All right, let's get.
Can I ask a question though?
Sure.
So the meeting after that, which would be the board meeting, which is going to be on November 3rd, and I think there's an election that night.
There is.
Is it the 3rd, our first meeting?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of always falls this way, but do we want to leave it there? I don't know how people feel about that. We've gone through this before, and phones are lighting up left and right and things like that. But it might not be that long of a board meeting being where we are in the world anyway.
Mm-hmm.
We might need a break from the election results.
Mm-hmm, okay.
Yeah, we can have a very abbreviated meeting. I do remember many board meetings on election night and people checking their phones, but this one seems to be very important. So maybe we have a very short one.
Yeah, I mean, so far we have talking about the homeless outreach committee. I don't have anything else, but yeah, we can make it short. Or we can move it to the following Tuesday. I don't know. I would propose we leave it and we just have a shorter meeting.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Perfect. All right, let's go through board reports. If anybody has anything, since I know a lot of people are new chairs, so.
I just want to say congratulations. You all survived the Interstate Bridge Trunnion project which was rather easy, especially when you can't get on the freeway at all those ramps close to the bridge, makes it easy for everybody else to get through. So that wasn't so painful. Not that I want to do that anytime soon, but it should be good for quite a long time.
Yeah, I didn't even notice it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was not bad. So we'll take that. And
it was
then
done a day early.
yeah, and they got done a day early, and then they got done 3 days early with the single lane bridge closure. So yeah, that project is wrapping up, and I think so is the Fremont Bridge work, and we'll have one closure of the sometime in November, one closure for a weekend of the I-84 to put in the Earl Blumenauer 7th Avenue overcrossing. So that's being put together right now, and then they'll put it in, I think, kind of Fremont Bridge style. Not floated in, but they'll pick it up and lift it up from the freeway level, as I think how it's going to go. So it'll be kind of interesting to watch that. And the other thing is, we have a little issue with we paid for our last edition of the newsletter, and I generated a internet bill pay from Beneficial Bank to Pamplin Media for $452. That was on September 9th. It still hasn't gotten to Pamplin Media. They do say that they're getting plenty of mail for Ohio, though, Pamplin Media is, which is interesting because they don't have any business in Ohio. So Chris, if you could take care of that, that'd be nice. But Beneficial is now looking into what happened to the transaction. It's supposed to be an electronic transaction, I think, that went straight through, but we'll find out. So I'll let you know if there's anything exciting there other than they filed it in the wrong place.
And the Zoom went through, okay?
Yes.
Great.
Yes. So we're paid for a year on Zoom. Yes, that's it.
If we don't need it all, can we get a refund? But hopefully.
Yeah, well, and I certainly I want to be good with Pamplin Media. They've been, I think, fairly good to us as far as the printing and all that, and so it's not like they're drowning in money.
I never had any trouble from them.
Yeah,
they're real good guys.
Yep. So anyway, we'll get it figured out by the end of the week and get them their money.
Great. Thanks, Brad.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anybody else? I'm not going to go through and call everybody. If anybody has an update, let me know.
Yes. For the as far as the public safety goes, although there, like I said, there has not been any communication that I've received, and Alexandra, I left you a voicemail indicating that I've been trying to get in touch with them. So when I did, I asked them to send it to me and also to send it to my wife's little box here, and also to chair at overlookneighborhood.org. And there's two ladies that are trying to facilitate that, Akimi Ishikawa and Judith Clefman. But the thing I want to get in there is the contact information. Their website, I guess, would be all lowercase, psac.nne.pdx@gmail.com. Shall I repeat that?
No.
Okay. And so
I say that because you're being recorded, so you don't have to. I wasn't trying to stop you.
As long as I spoke clearly enough and I wasn't breaking up, I can't tell at this end what's going on. So, so I think that would be their main contact point, and they're still working on it. And they were looking at additional resources to pay for it and whatnot. And I think the North Neighborhood Office facilitated their first and second Zoom meetings. Well, the city did the first one through the office, down there with Rostov. And the second one was Mary Jaren Kelly at North Neighborhood using their Zoom. But they were also looking for additional resources in that area. And I don't know what the progress of that is. So there it is. Just that email address for information, and any further information or some supplemental information might be coming to Chair at Overlook if it doesn't come to me directly. I don't know. I haven't gotten anything so far since September.
Okay, if I get
That's it.
something, I will send it to you and Marcy.
Appreciate that. Yep, I stumbled around with it, and I don't know if it's on my end that it's not getting through or their end. I have no idea. So hopefully something will get resolved here in the next month or so.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else?
Do we need to go back and approve the minutes?
Yes, let's go back and approve the minutes. I also have to, we had the League of Women Voters. We're not going to have the general meeting. Okay, never mind. They wanted to come and present at the general meeting on the ballots, but maybe we can send out a blurb, a link to the information on their website, because I think that they always have great information and they're very balanced. So maybe in the weekend update or the update, we can put a link to their website, Chris?
Or could you contact them and get find out if they have a voter's pamphlet or something that they're put together? They usually do.
Yeah, I will do that.
Actually,
Okay.
you know what? No, I'll take care of it as your new email person, apparently.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Cool. Thank you. I want to attend the chair meetings too?
No.
No. Exactly. Okay, yes, meeting minutes.
You look great.
I sent them out. I'm sorry they were late. I got a couple changes from Alexandria because I spelled gentrification wrong, and Cassie, I'm sorry I spelled your name wrong too. And I put PCAT instead of PSAC. So I made those changes.
Yes.
But was there anything else with
Ditto.
the notes that anybody read that needed to be changed?
Those are the only things that I saw. Did anybody see
Right.
anything else? Great. Somebody want to make a motion to approve, and which it was all of the September, August and September?
August and September.
The August board and general and September board and general meeting minutes.
So moved.
Okay, Brad moves. Any second?
Second. George.
Okay, George second. Anybody opposed? Great. All right, meeting minutes are
Thank you.
approved. Okay, anything else for the good of the order? What did I miss? Anything? Cool. All right, we're going to adjourn. I just wanted to thank everybody for participating again this year, and hopefully, maybe I shouldn't say this, but hopefully next year will be better than the last.
I like that.
Gotta
be.
There.
Hopefully.
Okay.
All right, and I need to
All right,
stop
guys.
recording of the meeting, correct?
Well,
Yes. Well, we'll just
just-
close it out.
Okay.
just to clarify,
Yeah.
there's no October general meeting. The next meeting will be the board meeting, November 3rd, election night.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. All right,
Perfect.
thanks, everybody. Have a fabulous rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Night, everyone.
Take
Yeah,
care.
good evening.
Bye.